Hello, hello. Welcome again. Here we are. Kinky Karl and
Cranky Gong.
Kranky Grandma. So today, we're not going to talk about, or tonight, we're not talking about our first love, but her one true love that she found later in her life when I was about
8
8
or 9, yeah.
8 to 13. Wow.
Something like that.
I didn't know it was that long. So his name was Speed Racer. So let's start off with how y'all met.
Well, Karl had gone to live with his sister because we couldn't get along. We tried to kill each other. And I moved into an apartment, a little hole in the wall off of 45. And I had my computer and I had my internet. Of course, it was all dial-up back then. And I got on a chat room where all you do was chat. You didn't share. You didn't have a profile. You didn't have a picture. You didn't have anything. And I went by Dynamite, which is why everybody called me Mama Dynamite, little package of explosive energy. And him and I got to talking, and he came over. Now, he was 25 years younger than me. In other words, I had children older than he was. But that didn't matter because the first night we met, we drank a little bit, we smoked a little bit, and we proceeded to have intercourse, sex. We fucked.
Can we talk about your age difference?
I just did. I said he was 25 years younger than me.
Okay.
You're not paying attention.
Sorry.
Karl.
So y'all had sex.
Okay. And then that went well. And then he called me back the next day and we went out on a date and we proceeded to be a couple. Well, his parents, or rather his mother, ran a fabric shop in Bel Air, which is no longer around and was bought out, and he got an inheritance and yada yada. But that was years later. But we had some good times. He'd take me to out to eat,
and he loved the speed.
He'd take me out to eat. I had a Corvette at that time, and he loved to drive it, and that's where he got his name, Speed Racer. He'd drive a car like a race car driver, and he was good. I never was afraid. Now, most people I'm afraid when they drive and I'm riding, but him, I trusted him completely. He was very, very good.
And can we get into the early business y'all made together?
Okay, that came after we broke up.
Okay, but
don't you want me to get up to that?
Sure.
Okay, I thought this was my story. He has a bad habit of interrupting me.
Go ahead.
He wants to hear what he wants to hear, not what I have to tell.
Anyway,
so he'd take me to Italian restaurants, and because he was Italian, tall, 6'4", dark, and very handsome.
Italian.
That's what I just said. You are not paying attention to any of my words. You just want to hear you talk. Okay. And so we'd go out a lot, and we'd go to movies, and we'd go do this, and we'd go dance, and we had there's this club that I used to like to go to called the Palm Beach Club.
PBC.
We called it PBC. It was where the online group of chatters would get together on Friday night.
What year was this?
I have no clue.
1997,
I have no clue.
1997.
But anyway, we would get together and everybody, that way you could meet the people that you were talking to online. Well, Racer and I would go there every Friday night and had a good time. The first night we went was New Year's Eve. And he treated me like a princess. He bought me roses. He bought me candy. He just bought me everything. And later on, he brought me a lot of jewelry. He liked to buy things, and he was very attentive. Now, Racer helped with his mother's shop But basically, he got a salary from them and didn't do anything, just got a salary from them. And so he did some gangster shit. I never did find out what it was, but he would disappear for days at a time. I mean, days. And of course, that didn't sit well with me because I like to have my attention. And I would go mess around. Okay. And I think he messed around some too on me. But go figure. And we were both interested in computers. He put them together and knew how to run operating systems. And then I knew how to operate them. So we did some jobs together, like with that and everything else. And we went on for a while. And he loved to roller skate. He would take Karl roller skating.
Can I go into that story?
Okay.
So he loved to roller skate, and this was back when people roller skated. It was the thing to do.
He actually managed a roller skating rink.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. But it was also my thing to do. I was huge into four wheels, not the inline. Back then there was no inline. And going to skating rinks was like my thing. You went there, you went to hang out with friends, eat pickles, eat hot dogs, and skate. And that's where I learned to skate. And eventually that led to ice skating for me. But one night, Speed Racer was really involved in skating. And he was like in a league where they did these competitions and stuff. So one night, he decided to involve me in this competition because they were lacking a person. And so basically what it was is like 4 teams with like 5 members. Okay. So each team is kind of one row. Another team is another row. Another team is another row. Another team is another row. And they're all connected at the middle. And I had to be the last of Racer's row. Because, it's the smallest. So basically what would happen is they would start going in circles. Like 5 different teams, 5 members in each row. And they would build up this momentum. As soon as that momentum built up, I realized I was way in over my head. Racer was actually I became limp. The momentum was so fast, I couldn't keep up my legs with the skating to keep it up. I became dead weight. And Racer was not only having to pull the whole team without that missing 5th member and hold me. I had a friendship bracelet on and he held on to that as tight as he could because we had momentum. I swear we were going 100 miles per hour in circles. Okay. Finally, that bracelet broke and I went flying. Like inertia went flying across the whole skating rink and hit the wall. And that's one of my best memories, really, of Racer and going skating with him and learning that there was this whole other, because I had been into skating, but realizing that there was competitions and there was a whole nother level of skating, which people really don't even do today, and it's kind of sad. But I did want to go into that story. So let's lead into how, what happened, how y'all broke up, and the business y'all created together. Because it was really the first kind of internet data collecting business, really.
Okay.
Not the first, but one of the first.
Shortly after the skating event, we continued dating and stuff like that. But then he was gone more and more and more. And he started messing around more and more and more. And finally, it was just kind of came to an end. But we were still very best friends, and we still talked to each other and still went out every once in a while. We just weren't fucking buddies anymore. And so his mother sold the shop, the fabric shop, and he got part of his inheritance, which was almost $500,000. So he decided he wanted to open up a business. Well, at that time, the internet, AOL, was, and everything was just starting. It was still dial-up.
DOS. Correct?
Yeah, but that had nothing to do with our business.
Okay.
We didn't do repairs. We started an internet system similar to AOL. We bought servers. We bought equipment. We had where you could dial on and get into the internet. We were connected to the web. We had games you could play. He had his office. I had mine. Well, he wanted to play around, and he expected me to make the business grow. And because I provided some graphic design work to a couple of people I used to work with. Well, that wasn't enough to keep the business alive, and he started going through his inheritance really, really quick. And so we got antsy because he got a new girlfriend, which was some titty dancer he picked up, young titty dancer he picked up. And I was still jealous because I was still in love with him. And so it got difficult, let's just say, at work. So it was pretty much agreed to that we weren't going to work together anymore. And I moved all my stuff out of the office and moved into my bedroom. At that time, by then, Karl and me and his sister were all living together in a house in Sugar Land. And I went independent. Now, Rachel and I still kept in touch. My first kitty, Rex, was one of Rachel's old cats because he had 4 and his new girlfriend had 2. And so I took Rex in, which we kept. He passed away about 8 years ago, but he was 16 years old. 2010. And it's been that long. Okay. And so we kept in touch, and he came over here when I bought this house and visited my house. He used to work at a computer repair shop, and I went and visited him there. We never went out anymore. But after he came over to the house, we still talked and stuff. But then he met somebody and got married and had a kid, and apparently he's been divorced and married again. But
wow,
we have not been in touch whatsoever. I looked him up on Facebook one time. That's how I found out about that stuff.
If you don't mind, I really want to hear about, because that was one of the first kind of internet dial-up where people could connect through your servers and get to the internet. And maybe if you're up for it, to kind of explain some of the intricacies of that business and what you'll have to do, just besides create servers or the data that was coming in that y'all were storing.
I really have no clue. I was the secretary, the receptionist, the graphic designer. He bought all the equipment, did all of the equipment, and I know absolutely nothing.
But you do know that y'all were collecting the data.
I don't know what he was doing.
That's what you told me.
Well, I'm sure he collected it because you had to have their name, their address, their phone number, and everything for them to even be your client.
And that extends in today's world. Or, okay, y'all's was a simple one, mid-90s. Y'all had the data. Y'all weren't connected to the interweb so that someone could hack in and get that data. But in reference to today's world, all these servers, say Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everything, every digital thing, data that you put out there is being collected.
Right.
Not only by the services that you're using, but by hackers and other forces that are tapped into those, collecting it with the people who are running the programs that you're using permission, but also most likely without their permission, without them knowing.
Well, we collected data, but the big thing between us, because we were so small, and then the internet was brand new back then, was that Facebook and Amazon and all of that, they collect data and they sell the data. They sell your information, so that they give your information to your emails and your phone numbers, because I get emails and phone numbers and text messages from somebody that have no clue who I am, and I'm sure they caught it on the internet.
And there's also third parties collecting that data without their knowledge.
No, third parties have to have permission from the people that they're collecting.
I mean, like hackers.
Well, yeah, but
there's people, deep, dark, evil people out there that are tapping into Facebook and stuff and Instagram and all of that and YouTube and collecting that data as well.
Right.
And I think we need to be aware of that when we put pictures of our kids, even my mom, even myself, of ourselves on Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that, that not only is Facebook storing that data, but there are evil, I hate to say evil, but malicious people out there collecting that data without their knowledge. We think that, they should have enough security and stuff in place to know if a third party is hacking in and getting that information. But as well, China and all the hackers out there are very smart, and they know how to not leave a trace. So it's very important to be aware that everything you're putting out is not only being stored by the programs you're using, but also being stored by third parties, say hackers. And then the programs you're using are also selling your data.
Yes, so, technology has changed a lot since that time, and I feel fortunate to have been around.
Selling it back to you. Sorry. I was trying to... Go ahead. How much
the internet has changed because technology has changed. And back then we were one of few internet providers. Browsers are basically what they call them now. And now there's thousands of them. Anybody with a garage and the money can get phone equipment and get the computer set up and do it. And so there's hackers are easy to do. Somebody can hack you out of their bedroom. And it's because technology's gotten smart, and as technology gets smarter, the computers get smarter, the people get smarter.
So and it just rolls.
I mean, even on your phone, all that data that every time you're on that phone, they know where you're at. Hello, GPS. They know what you're looking up if you use your phone for the internet and
just
for things like that.
Around your phone, I get all of a sudden on YouTube, just from a discussion, I'll get recommendations like, wait, I didn't even Google that.
Yeah, so it's hard to say how much they're tracking us, but I'm sure they are. Is there anything else specifically you want to talk about, Karl? Because my computer, thank God, which I've had gone for 2 weeks, is fixing to be back on its way home. And I got to pay the guy and get my computer set up.
So I think we had a wonderful discussion. 1911. So I think it's time to say goodbye. Thank you guys so much for tuning into our discussions. Like she just said, where she's getting her computer back tonight, and we're going to start learning how to do a podcast between us two. So I can get more into podcasts and interviewing different people and whatnot. But we'll definitely keep this going. And as always, we love you. Au revoir, chérie. Mwah. Hold that smile. We love you guys.